I'm gonna click.
All right, Gayla, we're recording, so if you want to do the introductions and ask your questions, we'll go from there.
Okay, you guys, I'm super pumped, man, to be able to introduce to you guys this gentleman here. I've only known him. I've been in this company for about a year and a half. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And I've only met him personally over the last couple of months. And anytime he's doing anything, I want to be on it because his story is so flipping powerful. And the love that he has in his heart for people, I just absolutely, I resonate with that. And I'm just super excited for you guys to hear his story and, what he can tell you. I mean, he's got such a personal relationship with the owner, the CEO of the company, to where, having that type of information for me as a businesswoman looking at this opportunity, I think it's very, very important. One of the I think, were you the first distributor, Rusty? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, the first one is stuck with it.
Yeah. So, 19 years, you guys. And I don't want to give away a story because it's so powerful when he tells it. So, does anybody, I guess just go ahead, Rusty, just, give it to us. Tell us all the goodness, brother. We appreciate you so much.
Well, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you guys as well. And, I could not imagine life being any other way for me. I was my wife and I was born on a farm in Virginia. My father was and grandfather were both ministers my entire life. Once we left the farm, and we always we worked hard, and by working hard, they would taught me a great work ethic. Been with my wife 41 years, the only little girl I ever dated, and I kept telling her right before we got married, things will be great for us. We're gonna make it, and we've been married 13 months. And I come home one afternoon, and she said, "I got some great news for you." And I said, "I got some news for you, but it ain't great." And I said, "You probably need to go first." And she said, "Well, we're gonna have a baby." I got sick on my stomach. No, I want a big family. I come from a big family now. I love the big dinner times and all the family around the table. That's me. That was instilled in me from conception of my life in my 58 years of existence. It was all about the family, and to me, it still is about the family. Not only my personal family here, but you guys as well as family. And I love to build relationships. And I told her that she told me he's going to have a baby. And I said, well, she said, "What's your news?" I said, "I just lost my job." And she said, "Oh, I believe in you. You'll get another one." And I said, "Yeah, well, the 4 people I talked to on the way home, they're not looking for a weak mind and a strong back." And at that point, she said, "Oh, you'll do it." But for the next 6 months, I couldn't find anything. And so I learned how to mow yards. I learned how to wash cars. I learned how to pick up beer cans to sell aluminum. I learned how to do everything. And it got to the point, it got so bad. If any of you guys ever see me on social media working out with those pro bodybuilders, just the particular one I work out with now, he gave me a job, he and his father, 40 some years ago, paying me under the table. So, but at that point, he gave me the job. It was in July. I remember it distinctly. It was hot. We lived in a little mobile home. They turned the lights off on us. We didn't have no food. And I was able to work one day and buy a 100-pound sack of pinto beans. I knew by living on the farm when I was a youngin' that we had beans every supper. With them dry beans, I said, it might not be what we want for a while, but we ain't going to go hungry. All these dry beans. Now I'm talking about a 100-pound sack. In fact, we eat so many beans in that particular period of time. It's been 30-some years since I had the pinto beans. I don't plan on starting eating them tonight nor tomorrow. I've had my fill. I knew they're very nutritious and got all the fiber you need, but I had enough fiber for one lifetime in those. And, I kept telling her, one day I'll be a multi-millionaire. I'm going to take you places you ain't never been. And she reminded me that, well, we ain't eating 3 days. We probably need to focus on some food for this very minute. But the one thing I had was a dream. And I had a dream because my father was a dreamer. He dreamed audacious dreams, and his was more he and my grandfather were more in the ministry and how they're going to touch lives all over the world. And that really at the time wasn't my dream. I wanted to make it better than anybody to ever make it, so I could provide for my wife better than anybody in my family ever provided for theirs. And I think that I didn't realize this was going to turn into a monster ministry in my life. And so I got a call from a CEO of a bank over in Washington, D.C. I'm really good with numbers. I played a little ball at Georgia Tech in 1983. And he said, I heard you're good with numbers. I said, yeah, I'm fairly good. I'm dyslexic, I think, in models and numbers. And he said, I'd like to give you a shot to see if you could train and pass the test and come to work for us. I said, I don't have the money to get there. I ain't got them kind of clothes to wear in Washington, D.C. at no bank. He said, if you make it, I'll pay for you coming here, but I'll make sure you got everything you need. I said, well, hey, I'm on my way. And I got up there and I went through his 2 weeks of training and got the job. In the next 90 days, I become marketer of the year. And it wasn't because I was just that smarter than everybody. I outworked everybody. We were hungry. I made up my mind. You show me what to do. I will outwork everybody here because my wife and my little girl's not going to be hungry no more. That's the end of that. That's not the way God intended. But see, what He puts you through, it builds a core fiber. It makes you stronger. And see, when He puts us through things in life, it's to build character, it's to build resolve, it's to mature you up for the next level of blessings. If you never go through anything, you're not mature enough to handle what He's got in store for you. And so I went up there and really knocked it out of the park and got tired of the commute from Washington, D.C., from North Carolina, which is almost a 6-hour trip one way. And I ended up getting an offer over in Charlotte, North Carolina at B of A, where I become the senior vice president. I did mortgage corporation takeovers and acquisitions, mergers. And now I'm chasing money. My salary went from 6 figures to a strong 6 figures, $550 a year, not counting the perks. And I was gone all the time. I devoted myself to working so hard. I call that modern day slavery. I was just an overpaid slave because every time they cracked the whip, I was making it happen. And I worked really hard at everything they said. And now I got 2 little girls. And at this particular point in time, 3 weeks a month, and I'm totally exhausted on that last 2 or 3 days they let me have off to be with my family. I'm here, but I'm not here. And I'm just so mentally drained and exhausted. I cannot have quality time for 2 little girls that need their father. And so I never thought I would do direct sales. I made fun of it because I had an uncle that didn't really make it well, and one he tried a long time ago. It's got a big A in its letter. Nothing wrong with the company. They're still the leading deal in the world today. And because of them, I get to live this crazy life I get to live. And my wife was introduced to a particular product we have in our line when we only had 3 products back then. I saw major results. She had 23 ladies at her house to try it for this other person. And I didn't know this other person was the CSO of the company. And I said, wow, I got intrigued. I said, right product, right time. Somebody can make a literal fortune, especially when it gives instant gratification without changing lifestyle. The next morning, they couldn't answer my questions. On the phone with Mark Pentecost, which is the owner and CEO of this company. Asked him a lot of mean questions. He said, you ready to do this? I said, no, sir, I'm not. I said, if I ever get ready, I'll let you know. But every day for the next 7.5 months, I talked to him every day. And here I am 19 years later. I've missed 3 days in 19 years every morning of praying with this man and his wife about our company and our business, and being on the phone in direct communication with him, which is a big deal for me. And so 7.5 months later, this is where my story starts. I called to fly out 3 hours late. I'd missed everything. And my 2 little girls, they played little pee-wee sports. And I missed every ball game, every function. I even missed a church Christmas function at that particular point, which was an extreme no-no for my father. He was not pleased with me. I'm talking about he come to my home the next morning, and he and I got in my truck and rode down the road while he gave me the finer points of life and what was really important in life. And what I did is I justified that particular action because we were so poor back in the early days, and I didn't want to be poor no more. But see, now I'm chasing it. I'm not pursuing it. And so I called to fly out 3 hours late this particular afternoon. And my boss said no, because the next day I didn't have to be in New Orleans the next day. And I said, no, I don't have to be there tomorrow. I said, well, why not? He said, because I said so. I said, oh, you micromanaging now. Okay. And as soon as I hung up with him, I told both my daughters, I said, I'm telling you this right here. I promised before God Almighty, I'll never miss nothing the rest of your life. I can't go to this one, but this is a day I put a stop to it. I flew out, did my job, flew back in on Sunday, and on Monday morning I was up extremely early. I drove over to Charlotte, North Carolina, walked into the corporate office and fired my boss. I don't think he'd ever been fired before, especially by somebody that worked for him. And he said, I'm fired. What does that mean? I said, it means I don't work for you no more. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to go do direct sales. And he laughed and made fun of me. I said, well, it's going to be the biggest thing I ever did. You can make fun because you don't believe in you. But I said, I really need to tell you how much I appreciate you. He said, for what? I said, last Thursday, when you said because you said so, you made me realize what was most important to me, and it's not you, nor this bank, nor that salary. It's my two little girls. And I appreciate you getting my attention. Walked right out of the bank, and I'm on my way home, an hour and a half commute. I called my father. I said, Daddy, I need you to do me a favor, run up to the house and tell Robin I just quit my job. I've been with my wife for a long time for a reason. He had zero tolerance for disrespect for females, period. There was absolutely no tolerance. I have three younger sisters, a mother, had three grandmothers, two daughters, and a wife. And that's how you stay with the woman that long. When you set a standard that you're not going to, there's absolutely no disrespect. I don't allow it. I don't tolerate it. That's why my daughters have grown into young, strong women. I'm not bragging. It is a value system I live by. And so I told you that to tell you this. He said, you didn't discuss that with Robin first? I said, no, sir. And he said, you broke the cardinal rule of our family. And I said, yes, sir, but I know what I'm doing. I just need to have a clear head when I do it. He said, I'm not going to tell her. You and this and all by yourself. So I found some crazy song we used to listen to when I played ball, and I listened to these guys all the way home to get the ambiance just right. I turned it up so the drum beat would give me the adrenaline pump like when I played ball right before you took the field, because I knew she was not going to be happy. Back in my driveway, they were still telling me how sweet Alabama was, and I got out. I don't even know why I chose that song. The drum beat hit me just right. And I'm trying to gain courage to tell my wife that I have made a decision that is a life-altering decision, or it's going to catapult us to the next level. And I come in and told her what I did. And at that point, any of y'all ever had your wives or you ladies ever went demon-possessed? Well, at this particular time, Miss Lackey went demon-possessed. I'd never seen that display of emotions in her in my entire life. And she got that look in my eyes when we locked eyes, like, I will collect the insurance on you for the end of the day. Because females tend to get caught up in security with titles and those type of things. I ain't never cared much for it. All I know, God put a dream in my heart. And I went in my office and I called Mr. Pentecost. I said, Mark, you ready to do this? He said, yep. I said, well, I am too. He said, you kidding? I said, no, I'm going to do it full time. He said, explain full time. I said, I quit my job this morning. You sold me a vision. And when I quit my job this morning, I didn't tell my wife. I had to come home and tell Miss Lackey, and she's not real pleased. And if we don't get started now, getting this thing put together, I'm probably going to be they'll sign an insurance policy over to her where she's going to commit a murder. And we got started. I had a system in my head, and I just really went to work 18, 20 hours a day. Pam Souter and I got on the phone doing three-way phone calls, conference calls, letting people know how excited I was with what I'd done because what I believed in. And it was really about my daughters, because every day my little girls would come in my office after school with little trays of peanut butter sandwiches and milk. And I got to spend that time, but I saw my daughters gain more courage over the course of me being here for the next 28 days and not having to leave. I saw the confidence and how secure they began to feel. And I knew I'd made the right decision. I just had to really come after it. 28 days later, we built an organization of 635 people. He sent me a little old check over here for about $9,997. And it was just sheer hard work, putting the time in, working the time zones. And I showed Miss Lackey what had happened. I was very short based on what I was making at the bank. But I said I didn't have to leave the house to do it. And I'm going to take this and grow it. And she's still upset. And she listens to everybody. I have some sisters that just never believed or whatever. They thought you had to just work really hard to make a decent living. If you work really hard, there's nothing wrong with it. You'll just make a decent living. I needed to be able to help people in a particular manner. And your success is always predicated on being able to help somebody else. You can never focus on you, and I never did. I still don't. Here I am 19 years later, I still don't. What can I do to help the next person realize whatever your dream is? And so I went back in my office and really went to work. Now I think our organization has done about $2 billion in sales. Our organization has grown with customer base and all somewhere around over 1 million people. And this is the only company I've done in 19 years. And right now I'm in bigger momentum than I've ever been in my tenure of the 19 years of hard work with Mr. Pentecost and It Works Global. The product line is unparalleled to anything I've ever seen, and here's why. Second year into it, I got very sick. I started gaining weight. The next 4 years, I went from 258 to 750. I had a tumor wrapped around my pituitary. I didn't even know you had a pituitary. I didn't even know what it was. And then the treatment I had to undergo doing that was the most horrible thing I've ever been through. And when I went through this particular treatment, I was so sick beyond your wildest imagination. And I was confined to a recliner, and my legs just swelled up so big that when I went back at the end of the treatment, they gave me 6 months to live. They were going to amputate both legs from the knees down. And I come home to tell my kids to prepare to die. And then my father come over and he picked my leg up, and my calves were just huge, and they were so thin, the skin was, they would just tear. And he looked at the bottom of my foot, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm looking for an expiration date." I said, "You mean like going to the grocery store?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "But you don't have one. God is the only one that knows when you're going to go somewhere." And I pondered on that for the next 3 hours, and I got my two little girls in, come into the big recliner I was trapped in. I said, "All right, little girls, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. Y'all's daddy's girls one way or the other, but I ain't going to lay here and be no victim. I'm not going to let nothing stop me. I'm going to get up and I'm going to fight like you ain't never seen. I have the warrior mentality. I know where I come from. I know where I'm going, and I'm going to fight every step of the way. And if I fall dead, it's going to be out in the yard swinging." And I got started. I utilized our product line. Is the best products available for human consumption on the planet. It's what I've used. I've lost a total of 507 pounds naturally in the last 14 years. I've not had a medicine in my body in 14 years, not even asking for a headache. And so when you have that kind of story, I don't have the right not to be here today to share this story with you, because do I know it'll change your life? Absolutely, it will change your life. All you got to do is be willing to get committed. See, everybody lives an extreme one way or the other. You're extremely going after something, or you're extremely running away from something. You're extremely shunning responsibility, or you're taking responsibility and moving forward with it. There absolutely should be no sick nor broke people inside the confines of the United States of America. I believe that wholeheartedly, because I never finished college. I'm the one that never supposed to have done anything. I didn't get fortunate lucky at the two banks I went to the top of. I just understood numbers, and I outworked everybody. That's all I've done here is I outworked everybody. But now this thing has got real simple and real easy, because when I got started, we had no social media. We had fax machines, yellow legal pads, pens, applications, and inferior websites. And so we've grown this thing because we would not quit, because we care about other people. I want everybody to live to whatever dream that God's laid in your heart. And if I can put you in a position or support you by lending you my hope and all the years I've been here, well, I'm in. And I'm 100% all in. And the product line is unparalleled to anything I've ever seen. And here's why. Well, I just had my physical last November. The doctor, she walked in and stopped my physical. Last time a doctor stopped something on me, they told me I had 6 months to live. And I said, "Well, I feel pretty good. I don't know why you stopped it, but that kind of shook me up a minute." I said, "I'm going to go get my wife." I brought my wife back in there and said, "All right, doc, tell us hit me with it. I'm a strong guy." She said, "Well, you have absolutely no heart components of none of the three that killed your father and your grandfather. Your hormone levels are perfect. Your blood work's perfect." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And I said, "Well, I haven't been sick in a while, but what does it mean?" She said, "You have the blood work of about an 18-year-old. I said, "Look, I appreciate all that. I'm 58, almost 58 at that time." I said, "I've been very sick, and if you're doing that to make," she said, "No, look, the blood work warrants it." Now I exercise every day now. Some days I do 20-mile runs, and I power lift steel. And I'm saying that to brag. I do that because I'm disciplined. I don't ever want to go back to where I was. I don't want nobody to be sick. And if you utilize this Skinny Brew coffee, who do you know right now that if you could drink 1 cup of coffee and it has 1,000 micrograms of chromium picolinate, it has all the nootropics in it that heals the body, and it has plant-based caffeine in it that lasts all day long. But that 1,000 micrograms of chromium picolinate regulate your pancreas, which helps people that have diabetes. It regulates blood sugar. Can you imagine? There's already 2.25 billion cups of coffee drank every day. I don't have to retrain you to do this. All I got to give you is a sample to try what I've got. And once you try it, guess what happens? I hadn't had one person yet since the conception of this particular brand that didn't become hooked or addicted to feeling good, the energy, addicted to taking your appetite and just ruining it, and addicted to losing weight. I'm talking about body fat. Now, there's a difference between losing body fat and a difference between losing weight. When you lose body fat, that's how I've maintained keeping all this weight off all these years and still losing. I ain't got much more to go, but I still got a few pounds I want to knock off. but I've done it the correct time. So that's what I've done the last 14 years. I've kept it off and it keeps coming off. I don't have to worry about it coming back because I believe in doing things the right way one time. And if you do it right the first time, you don't have to go repeat and do your work over. The one thing that always bothered me when I was born on the farm, my grandfather said, do it right the first time and you don't have to go back and do it. You will not waste your substance, and your substance is your time. And so the difference between living the life you want versus the life you're living now, and you might be living what you want. You think you got to consistently redream. You got to put yourself in the service of other people. You'll always be blessed in direct proportion for the quality of efforts expended. But when you, my grandmother used to say, spend your time wisely. And I said, what does that mean? She said, when you go out to do something, you invest your time. The difference between all the years I've been here and Gayla and the leadership team in our organization that she's on, we invest our time. We don't just spend our time and waste it. We don't procrastinate. We know what we need to get done. And I have a product that works right now. And if weight loss is the biggest industry and one of the biggest industries in the world, but wellness, it'll never run dry. It never gets old because as long as there are human beings on earth, everybody wants to feel good, wants to look good. I just happen to have a product line that really works. So I got to ask you a question. If you really want to help people get to where they want to be physically, or you need to lose a couple pounds yourself, who do you want showing you how to get it done and what they've done? The kids that have lost the same 10 pound every year for 5 or 6 or 8 years, or some poor guy that went to work and knows how to get it off. I've lost over 507, not count the 19 I've lost in the last 10 weeks, and I've kept it off. And so those numbers just kind of work for me, not because I've done it. It's because all these years I put myself out there to help other people. And I remember in the day when people said, well, do you use your own product? I said, yeah, I know it's working. I can feel it working. It's just going to take a while. I didn't get to be 750 pounds overnight. It's going to take more than overnight to get it going. But I got committed to a new way of life. And since then, we've helped, well, over 1 million people in my organization alone have success with this product line. We have 63 millionaires in my organization. I'm not bragging about the millionaires, but they say they have more if with our company than any other company out there. Verified millionaires. Now, here's why I'm excited about that. It's not about the millionaires. It's about that little girl that needed to make $200 or $300 extra dollars that through that chain of leadership, they were able to help that person on that particular level. The girl that needed to make $500 more so she can adequately supply the needs of her family. So it could take a little bit of stress off her that she can sit at the house and use a cell phone like this and operate all over the world in 27 countries that we operate in. It's about putting yourself in the service of other people, as I stated a while ago, helping that person, lending you my hope, my faith of all the years of being here. It's one thing about I ain't going nowhere. We're well established and not, well, you've done it. No, we're in more momentum today because we didn't quit in 19 years than we've ever been in the history. Last month, we brought in another 185,000 new customers around the world. And last week, our organization brought in somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000 new reps. Think about what I just said, 4,000 to 5,000 new reps. Why? It's because we have a simplistic system. We understand how to utilize every media format and platform to go out and maximize your results. I never deal in minimums. I deal in maximums. And that's how when you deal in a maximum at this particular level, I have to be on my A game. That's why I get up at 4 o'clock every morning. I don't go to bed till 11. I have a very large organization, and I feel compelled to be there to support them all over the world. And when you make up your mind, you want to do better. You want to feel better. How did we do it? Well, we've created these product stories. Forget the money for a minute. If you ever get sick and they tell you you're going to go, we're all going sometime. I just don't want to be very sick long term like I was then. I want to go out swinging and fighting and then just say, man, he lived a great life. He enjoyed himself. He was not refined or confined to a recliner. And my little doctor asked me, she said, what kind of medications are you taking? I said, oh, I don't take medication. I said, if we don't make it, I don't take it. And she said, no, I said, would you expect me to come here at 58 years old with a bag full of medications and wearing Depends? She said, well, that's the norm. I said, no, that's your norm. That ain't my norm. My norm is I'm taking people in a different direction. And if I can, I'm going to try my best to put you out of business in my community. She said, I don't get it. I said, look at my blood work. Look at everything you just told me. You're going to get it because I'm going to share this story far and wide. Because there are certain people, every living human being on the planet deserves to feel like I feel and live the life that I get to live. I ain't woke up on an alarm clock in 19 years. I don't plan on starting tomorrow. In 14 years, I ain't had no medication. I don't plan on starting tomorrow either, because I've chose to take a different course in my lifestyle. And why do we do it? Well, in all these years, I've been a full-time daddy to two precious little girls, daddy's girls. If y'all ever see me on social media, I'm off out on the West Coast. I'm doing a hunting trip. I'm over in another country. Those two little blonde-headed girls, they're my daughter. They're my baby girls. And if you ever see that beautiful blonde-headed mother there, is that third little girl that's with me, we're riding on horses through the mountains of Virginia or whatever we're doing, that's because I'm pro-family. I think everybody, I think your children, I think you deserve to live life like that. And if you're punching a clock, you'll never get to the point you'll do it. The math does not work. I call it participating in modern day slavery. And there's nothing wrong with having a job if that's all you aspire to do, by all means. But I couldn't justify getting up early in the mornings and leaving my kids and being pressed to do what I did for 3 weeks a month and being totally exhausted. And they're growing up and I'm not here. I got tired of missing my little girl's life. That was not the way I was raised. And somebody said, what if you don't make it? I said, I was born on a farm. I know what it is to be poor. I don't have no problem going back to survival, living on a farm. I know how to raise animals. I know how to raise crops. I'll just get engaged in it. But you will not take me out of my daughter's life every single day. I'm going to take them to school. I'm going to pick them up from school. And I'm going to have daddy-daughter dates. And you know what? I'm going to send them love notes every week. And I'm going to send it to their mama because I'm going to establish a new standard in my family. And you're not going to go below my standard. See, every time you take a new discipline and you go somewhere physically or financially, or you make your break for freedom, you're setting a new standard. Is it hard? Absolutely it's hard. But once you get the new standard going, you lose the taste of that old way of life. You start to lose that because you got what? You've got a new flavor up here, a new taste of life. You set a new standard and you walked away from those people and ain't going nowhere. And we all got them. And I've tried to find, where's that, the guy, this is where I want to be this time. Who do I know or who can I associate myself with? It's already there. It's like my baby daughter just came in and we was on a running expedition about 6 months ago. And we get up and we normally, when we're going to do the 20-mile run, we get there at 4 o'clock. And there's this beautiful little blonde-headed girl showed up. And I don't have a lot to say in the morning. I'm stretching. I'm an older guy in the group. And I'm just thinking about, let's get started. Let's get finished. And the little girl wanted to talk to me and my daughter standing there. She's helping me stretch out. And I said, well, what do you do? She said, I'm a counselor. I said, in what field? She said, I'm a marriage counselor. I said, oh, wow. I said, how long have you been married? She said, oh, I'm not. I said, well, how old are you? She said, I'm 38. I said, wow. I said, you ever been married? Said, yeah, 3 times. I said, I got to ask you something. I said, what in God's name are you teaching your clients? What are you telling them to keep them together? If you can't do it, you can't teach me nothing. I made her angry, but I didn't do it to make her angry because I knew the next question. She fired back at me. She said, well, how long have you been with your woman? I said, it's a time right now, 40 years. The only little girl I ever dated, I did it right the first time. She said, how do you do it? I said, I set a standard to love her no matter what. I set a standard to respect her. I still open the door for my wife to get in the car. I still, when we go to the restaurant, I'm the one to get her chair. I ain't sitting down till if she gets up to go to the restroom, I get up and I stand there until she comes back. They said, why do you do it? I said, because it is a standard I set, because it's a respect I have for my wife. My father had it for my mother, and them 2 little boys is trying to date my daughters, they gonna have it for them. And you know what, Jim? If they don't, little horse farm we got over in Virginia, I told them little boys, I said, you know, I dug a hole deep enough for 20 bodies. I got room for 3 more. And say, ever how you want to get there, we don't care, but you gonna respect my daughters, or you got to deal with that. And I'm in the disposable business when it comes to that. And I had a good laugh out of that. But you know, you're the one that's setting the standard for your future. What you do today will catapult you into tomorrow with it as an asset, or you go into tomorrow as a liability. And it ain't but one thing, it creates assets and liabilities in people and where you're going. As how are you spending your time or how you are investing your time. If you get my time, because I know Gayla and the leaders between she and I, they've been with me a long time, 12 and 15 years. All my leadership that came with me back in the day are all still here. You didn't have to go nowhere when you do it right the first time. But you know what? When you get my time, I'm going to invest the best of me into you so you can invest the best into other people. If we're not giving it our very best, what are you doing? You're wasting time. Every night before I go to bed, I develop a daily plan of action. I can only get 3 things done, a 3 priority list. And if it makes it to my priority list, I don't care what the time is. I'm not going to bed till I get it done. And if I get it done early, I add to it. But I'm always prepared to what? To take this asset mind into tomorrow to what? Because when you go into it, you understand that you'll start making time work for you. And when you make time work for you, your money is working for you. Instead of working for money or working for time, you'll always be broke. But when you make up your mind, no, I'm going to take a stab at this. This is what we're going to do. And I'm going to make time work for me. Now, I wrote a bestseller and I lectured about 6 major colleges in the entrepreneurship program. And I give that to those kids for free. As it's part of the, and I give all the money away from my books to the sex trafficking of humans. It's not written for a profit center. It's written because I want to invest back into people and let them know you're worth it. And once you understand you're worth it, I don't care who you are, what your gender is, what your race, that does not matter. All I know is I love human beings. And if I can put you in a position to break the generational curse and I can show you how to add and incur value to you, you will become an asset to your family and you'll start to break generational curses that has plagued most of our families our entire life. That's how I feel about it. And how do I know? Well, I've been here 19 years. I do crazy well. I don't have to do anything but whatever I want to, but I work harder today than I've ever have. But you know why? Because even though I'm the only person in my family that's not a minister, this is a ministry. Our organization is well over 1 million people, operating 27 countries. I do that because I want to touch other people's lives and let you know that you're special, that you're good enough, that you deserve the very best in life. And I want to teach you how to take this mindset and go from spending time and wasting time to investing time. If I can get you to start investing your time in a wise manner, it's going to pay big dividends. You know how I know? It just paid big dividends for my family and I, but a multitude of other people. There's been times we could have quit, but you know what? Quitting ain't in my DNA. I don't know how to quit. All I know is how to get up and fight. See, anybody can talk about being a soldier. There ain't nothing wrong with a soldier. But when we show up, the best warriors in the world show up. We tend to wage war on whatever it is we're after. And we play to win. You know why? You can never win unless you're helping other people win. You cannot be a single guy. And I leave from back at the Coliseum now. I've been on that stage enough. Let's promote these guys up here. What can I do to help you? I just turned down another magazine interview to be put on the, let's go find some young kid over here that's really working hard. I done had all that adrenaline pump I need. Let's put somebody else over there. Let's promote forward. And you do that from back here. When you got people that's really working hard, you work with them. What does that do? It creates momentum. Every second of every day is precious. You know how I know it? They called time on me once. The next time time's called on me, they're not going to do it. God's going to do it. And I'm just going to go to sleep totally exhausted, wore out, where I've had so much fun in my life. I'm going to be I ain't going to leave. Any gift he ever gave me is not going to be there because I'm not, most people, you get all the seeds of greatness are in you. That the day your father's sperm hit your mother's egg was not an accident. And God Almighty tossed in everything you need. There's nothing more than a fertilized egg going in your mother's fallopian tube, and you are birthed into a blueprint. He gave you all these particular gifts. Most people, the richest place on earth is the graveyard. All the unwritten books, the unwrote songs, all the dreams that died with those people because they listened to somebody else. Now, if I'd have listened to everybody else, I'd probably be dead by now. I chose not to. You know why? Because I took an evaluation of where the people was giving me all that advice. Well, they were all broke. Why am I going to apply broke advice from broke people into my life? I'm not going to do it. Don't make no sense. It don't create a dividend. Therefore, I cannot be an asset to everybody here if I continue to do and operate in that particular manner. So the beautiful part about what I'm doing, no question does it work. No question does the product line work. That's not on trial. And see, this is a true equal opportunity. And here's why. That equal opportunity is we have the same program, the same websites, the same compensation plan, the same product line. The only thing, and we have the same 24 hours in a day. And what sets me apart from the rest of you is 19 years. But it's how I invest my time every day. I don't spend my time. I don't waste my time. If you see me off playing somewhere, that's because I've had the discipline to get up every single day and make it happen. I ain't bragging on me. It's just how I live life. When they ever tell you you're going to die and you got 2 precious girls and a precious wife and you don't want to go, you want to be there to enjoy this life with them as long as you can, you'll be surprised the difference that makes in your life. In order for that to make a difference, you have to make up your mind to go be the difference. I just chose every day to participate in a lifestyle change because I wanted to make a difference, but I had to be the difference before I could make it. And when I made up my mind to go get it, I said, I don't care what happens, come hell or high water. I definitely not the one you want to fight with, because I won't quit. If you beat me up today, I'll be sitting in your front porch in the morning. So you ready to do this again? That's how I conquered being so sick. And when I was going through all the treatment, I just got up every day as a new day, and I said, God, help me through this day, and I'm gonna go give it everything I got. And you know what? When you give every day everything you got, you don't go into tomorrow into bankruptcy. You go into tomorrow into what? And you got momentum going into tomorrow. You got foundation. And when you set the standard, all you're doing is creating foundation. That's just something that's solid to go build anything you want to build on it. So, you know, the only thing I see is I talk to people from all over the world on a day-to-day basis. And by the way, I never work on Sunday. If it's important enough, you need me on Sunday. If you can't wait till Monday, it's not important. And so, you know, I abide by certain principles, laws, and rules that I don't deviate or break for nobody. And so when you start to get your life right and you invest your time right, just the only thing lacking that I see is your abilities to dream. But I promise you this, the more you hang around us, the bigger we're going to stretch your imagination, stretch your dream. And all that's going to do is you're going to stretch your belief system. You start to believe in yourself that you can perform at that particular level, because now you're a part of something that's bigger than all of us. We become a family. We become a team. That's one thing about it. You can't mess with the family. You just don't. You know why? Because you get all of us. It's not just one. If you mess with one of us, we all gonna show up. That's how I've operated for the last 19 years. And you know what? I'm gonna be operating that way in 19 years. I promise you. Any of y'all got any questions? Come on now. You got
No, it was so good, Russ.
Pardon?
This was so good, Russ.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you know, it's a true story, and all I want to do is, if I said something that intrigued you a little bit, I want to be able to inspire you to go live the life that God put you here for. He didn't put you. You was not born by an accident. Everything is a plan and a purpose. Just make sure you got your purpose and you're moving from where you are to where you're supposed to be. That is your purpose. Don't listen to broke people. They're always in a bankrupt state of mind. Their conversation is in a bankrupt state of conversation. And if they're broke mentally, they're going to be broke physically. And they're broke physically, they have no finances. I promise you that. They're bankrupt. You can tell in a person's conversation in a matter of about 30 seconds exactly how it's going to go. And I think if we lend enough hope to enough people, we can start to change the course of the way they believe, the way they think about themselves. Because everybody sees themselves as they see other people. You see other people like you see yourself. Well, I see myself as highly successful, highly strong, and that's the way I see you. I don't see anything, any doubts you have. And if you're going to hang around this organization, we're going to take your doubts and throw them where they belong, in the trash can. They say ain't nothing you can't go accomplish. Nothing. The only thing that you can accomplish is whatever you believe you can accomplish. And so when you make up your mind, this is how it's going to happen. You know, it's like the three phases of light: actinic, luminiferous, and calorific. Without each three of the phases of light, guess what happens? The light don't shine. It's not exuberant to light everything up. And so there's three phases to live in life. And it all starts with you and your belief system. If you hang around people that believe, a guy asked me the other day, he said, "Do you believe in God?" I said, "Absolutely." He said, "You ever seen him?" I said, "No, but I know he's real." The day they told me I was dying, that 6 months I laid in that recliner and couldn't go to sleep, man, I was doing all those treatments. I know he got really real to me. He said, "But you've never seen him." Nope. And he kept on. I said, "Let me ask you something. Do you have a brain?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how do you know? You ever seen it?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, the way you're talking, I don't even believe you got one." I said, "Have you ever seen the wind?" "Oh, no, but you can feel it." That's where that conversation is going. I said, "Whoever told you that, they lied to you. And you're not smart enough to believe that, really?" And so what I want to do is, here we take this thing real serious. Now, we like to have a lot of fun. We're like a bunch of incurable Peter Pans. We like to play. But when it comes to looking at each one of you here, I look past you. And when I say I look past you, what does that really mean? I don't know what your dream is or your vision is. Everybody's a little different, but everybody wants to be successful. I look past you. Do you have any kids? Do you have any grandkids? Do you plan on having children or grandchildren? What can I do to help each one of you to secure the future of them? When I look past you, it's not about me, and it's definitely not about y'all. It's about what can we collectively do together to lay foundation that will create generational wealth. How do you want your generational life to be? Is it going to be a generational curse that you keep passing forward, or is it going to be generational wealth? It's entirely what you do and how you invest your time. And once you do that, that time starts to compound. I promise you, I did a lot of big old banking deals. When compound kicks in, you can't outrun it. Now, I got one question to ask, and I'm going to take you questions. How would you like to be put in a position of hard work, smart hard work with a team that's going somewhere, as to where you make money while you sleep? If you sleep to 4 o'clock in the morning, you get up early like I do, or you sleep to lunch, which if you start being successful, lunch will never catch you asleep. Never. You can't. You're so excited to get up to make a difference. I call it impact. When you get up to make a difference and you're impacting people in that particular manner, it's no longer about you. It's about what can I do for the good of humanity? How can I help other people, the ones that want it, put them in a position to go win? Not what everybody else says. I don't participate in the government. I don't participate in none of that crap. I turned those people off a long time ago. What I want to do is if I can put you in a position to win, I can take you out of what I call modern day slavery. And once you make up your mind, as long as you work for salaries and wages, you'll always, here's how they want it. Get a good education. Nothing wrong with that. Get a good job. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Get in debt. Pay me the rest of your life. Here, we're going to work for profits, like Jim Rohn said. We're going to work for profits. We're going to get you out of debt, and we're going to pay you to start with. We're not going to pay you the last person, and then there's not enough to pay you anymore. No, we're going to pay you first. We're going to change everything they taught you about money and business. We're going to teach you the right way, not their way. You know, their way's got a lot of bondage and slavery in it. I just ain't never like nobody telling me what to do and when I could go do it. Yo. All right, anybody got any questions?
I am new. I heard it mentioned just for a second that it might be related to. So that was. Okay.
I can't hardly hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, that's much better.
I don't know what I think it's health related. When I talked to Kate, well, I didn't actually talk to Kate this morning. We were messaging, and I want to know what it actually is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a complete line of nutrition, and everything we do is in powders. We have a complete line of weight loss, and most of those are either in coffee or powders. And then we have a line of skincare. Now, our skincare, have any of y'all ever seen the program Botched on TV? There's plastic surgeons out in LA that do all that fancy cutting on people to make you beautiful. It's called Botched. Dr. Nastiff. Well, Dr. Nastiff does our skincare. He's our business partner. And so he's our celebrity business partner. He's a great guy. I like him a lot. When I started using his line of skincare, you know, I'm 58. And I've lost a lot of weight. But do you see any wrinkles in my face at 58? Ain't none of that Botox. I don't like needles or knobs. I just use collagen. I drink it at night. And then I use the skincare. And it took what I used to look like a pudge dog. And then I started using all this stuff, and the wrinkles just started leaving. It started nourishing my skin. And it does. And in order to have beautiful skin long term, you have to go from the inside out to kill all the inflammations. That's how you start to grow beautiful skin, and then you take care of it topically. And at that particular point, through the course of time, it just tightens up on its own. And I like it. And the nutrition, we have what we call super reds and super greens. It alkalizes your body. That's why I'm alive today. It's because I learned how to alkalize. And the super reds has all the beet juices, but all the exotic fruits around the world. And that creates nitrous oxide. Every human needs the additional nitrous oxide, and what happens, it expands your blood vessels where you get oxygen-rich, fresh blood to all your organs, to your skin. You become more vibrant, but there again, you're alkalized. And once you start to alkalize, that's why I've not been sick in 14 years, not even with a headache. Of course, the skincare, but the weight loss is pretty amazing. This product I'm going to tell you about now, and it's all on a website, and we the doctors that formulated it for us, it's called Thermophyte XX. And with the case studies that's been done on the ingredients, the average person, just by utilizing 2 tablets a day, you lose around 31 pounds in 90 days per case studies. And so that's the kind of ingredients that we have in our product line. It's not just some little formulation we had a couple chiropractors throw together, and some people will, some people no. If you utilize the product, you get the results it says you're going to get. And so the beautiful part about that is I want to make difference, because the biggest epidemic in the world today is obesity. And it starts with being obese, and then you get the on-site diabetes. 66% of everybody in America is obese. Most of those are morbidly obese. That means you're 50 pounds or better. And then 30% of our school-age children have the beginning stages of on-site diabetes. How does that start? Well, how do you cure it? Well, it starts by mom and daddy taking the necessary measures and actions where they feel better. And I promise you, I don't have to ask my wife or daughters to go work out every day like I do. I don't have to ask them to take I just started doing it in front of them. Lead by example. And so with this particular product line, why don't we ever need it? I'm not saying we will never need a doctor for physicals, I guess. But my goal is to never need one because I got sick. I'm not saying I can't get sick, so I don't want you to misinterpret that. But I'm going to do whatever it takes every single day, because I'm really addicted to this feeling good thing. And I'm more productive when I feel good, and I make a bigger impact on other people's lives because I feel good. And so when you feel good, there's nothing better in the world than feeling good and being able to sustain life all day long. And you're the same person this afternoon that they met this morning. That's impact. And if I can show you what I did and whatever you need, and most of the time when I talk to people, I ask questions. Well, what do you want to change about your health? Or where you want to go? I don't try to sell you no products. I listen to what you say you need, and then if I can create a solution for your problem through a particular product I believe will work, I just make an offering for it. And you read the bullet sheets, and then you make up your mind. And it's entirely up to you if you do it. And I don't have any unrealistic expectations by me having a conversation with anybody. I just need you to see the value, the possibilities of how you could live life. And this is what it done for me. I don't know if it'll do anything for you, but what I do understand, in about 90 days, if you try it, let's see what happens. Well, that's why we have such a big retention rate, is because we've taken a different course than most people. I'm not after a sale. I'm after a change in a life. And when I'm after changing a life, if it's effective to you, what happens when you get excited about it? What are you going to do? You're the best advertisement I got, is your own personal testimony. And so when I attach my name to it, how do I want you talking about me and my product line? I wanted to know that it made a difference. I wanted to know it impacted you in such a positive way that you're going to get committed to this product for the rest of your life, like I've been. And I've got some pretty huge results in the last bunch of years. And the bottom line, why do we have to continue to pay people to make us better when we're sick? Why don't we just get paid to stay well? That's kind of the way I thought about it. Let's just reverse everything we've been taught. And that really worked for me and a whole bunch of other people. And so those are our main products. We have 50-some products. I got them for stress that really work. I have a great line of skincare on several different levels. The nutrition is, I think it's unparalleled anything. And then we also have a line of keto products. If you're want keto coffee or keto tea, or you want keto chocolate, I'm talking about this stuff is to die for. I love chocolate. And it's called BFF, Best Fat Fuel. And it's delicious. It's like if you mix it in the shake, it's like going to Wendy's and having a Frosty if you get it cold. If you take heavy whipping cream and mix it up like a pudding, and then the more this pudding or this best fat fuel you consume, like in the evening time when you really think like, I'd like to have something sweet. Well, the more of it you eat, the more belly fat you lose, and it's delicious. I have something to get you to where you want to be. If you're just willing to get committed to where you want to go. And most people, I'll be honest with you, don't have a clue where they want to go. They just need a little bit of direction. And I don't know until we ask the right questions to find out what it is you truly want. And you know what? And you see people's lives change and their visions change and their dreams change from month to month as they grow into it. Most people don't have a clue, but if we put you in a position to grow into it, you're starting to impact people's lives. There's nothing better on this earth than to know that I got up today and I made a difference in somebody's life. I can go to bed tonight and I'm fulfilled. Does that make sense?
As far as I know, it too. As far as I know, I'm not interested, but I am interested in, for years in the United States, dying because of just greed, the fact that they food and we eat it, they make money. So a lot of is out there now that's designed to be better than the health food. They're like we better for the body. Sort of knowing what you got because there's R&D, research and development, good things, good products, but everybody just everybody making money. So I'm really interested in the nutrition. I don't necessarily need to lose weight. Fresh and balance. So I'm gonna find out what those are because I just know that people are creating good products.
Yeah.
Sort of research and become exposed and
Well, it's interesting you use the word good 4 times in just now. This is our motto. We have some of the best people in the world that help us formulate and bring good as the evil of great. And we're not ever satisfied with good. I don't want to ever be average or me too or like everybody else. When everybody else is running that way, I'm going to go in a different direction. I don't follow the pack. Or our CEO don't follow the pack. We want to bring great products to market. And when I bring great products to market, they make a great impact. And so the best people in the world that we can find are helping us put things together. Like one product I use early every morning is called celery. We're the only company in the world with it, just celery. Because if you juice celery, the health benefits of juicing celery for cleansing your liver and everything about your body, getting neurotoxins out. And when we decided to bring celery to the market, the only company with it in a powdered form, we flash freeze it at harvest, and then we freeze dry it, and we put it into a powder. So you still have the 100% of the nutritional value, but in that, all those particular salts in celery, it starts to cleanse your liver. And when it cleanses your liver, it goes to your pancreas. It cleanses your digestive tract. It also pulls neurotoxins out of the brain. And I know when I got on it, due to the treatment I had some liver issues, but now I have no liver issues. And it was because I get up every morning very early. That's the first thing I put in my mouth is 8 ounces of celery. And I get everything about the celery. I got third-party doctors that wrote the book, the bestsellers. I didn't listen to what our people said. I want to see what the third-party people said. And celery should be something that every one of us consume on a consistent basis with all the toxins and stuff, just in your everyday walk of life. And I can tell you about the 10th day, I got feeling bad, but then I had what they called a liver purge, and started getting the rest of the stuff. It wasn't good for me out of it. And since that particular time, everything about me went to a whole nother level. Energy, feeling good, not feeling like I used to. If I would eat a metal fork touch my tongue, I would get a metallic taste, and then I would get nauseous. That's gone. I don't have to ask for plastic silverware no more. And when I can bring that line of products and put it into people in your digestive tract, and it's something good, it also changes about the way you feel. And when it changes the way you feel, the way you act, you're more productive. And so once you feel good, you're going to be productive, if that makes any sense.
I want to check it out.
All right. Well, look, they're going to be able to send you a site that you can check out. We have a bullet sheet on every product that we have. And with that particular bullet sheet, it breaks it right on down for you. And when it breaks it down for you, just do your research, make sure that we're for you, and this is something you want to engage in. If I could make a strong recommendation for the possibilities of what this could do for your health and the health of people that you care about and you love and other people. And another thing, as far as our compensation plan, it's the strongest in the industry. We pay out 53 cents of every dollar back to the field before you get any bonuses. And right now, this month, for our first little leadership bonus is $15,000, and you got 90 days to acquire it. And it would be shame on you if you couldn't. That means you didn't try. In fact, I'm in the belief system right now that if you could really have that knocked out before the end of the month. That's just how easy they made it to acquire. Our job is to make sure that we pay you the kind of money And when we pay you the kind of money that you deserve, put you in a position to get out of debt. And once you start to get out of debt, that stress, it holds people back. It's after you get healthy and you get wealthy all at the same time, but you'll never gain wealth until we help you create a new financial plan. And when you create a new financial plan, it means we create a new health plan. And when you do your research, if you have any more questions, by all means, feel free to get in touch with me or Gayla, or I can get you in touch with the doctors or whatever. It's a real simple process. We're just here to serve. Well, guys, let me stop this recording.